Hey, how's it going? I'm in the Prakanong area. I'm gonna go take a look at Sukhumvit Soi 48. I used to stay in there when Airbnb was really easy for one-day stays. I stayed in there all the time. You can still Airbnb over here, but it's supposed to be for 30 days or more, and a lot of the buildings are doing fingerprint or face recognition. Here's the Prakanong BTS. The only issue is where these cars are turning left. That's Rama IV. And you can see it's a green light. These guys are trying to get across. It's a real hassle. What is easier, and they got to cross, you know, unscathed, but what is easier is to just walk over here. This is the W District, a good food area. I did videos on that area. They're either coming out or they're already out, the W District. And then just take this walkway across. That way you don't have to deal with running across Rama IV. And right when you cross Rama IV or come over the bridge from the W District is this Soi Sukhumvit Plus one. It's just a little soy, but there is a fun place down there, the J Bar and Cafe. And I think that building is, I think it's called Sukhumvit 50. Oftentimes you'll find affordable condos in there. We're one stop up from En Nut. So you're still not far from central Bangkok. And I'm walking up to my old building, Life 48. But here is PJ O'Brien's. Really good Irish pub. Live music, I think at least 5 nights a week. Now it's rush hour, it's almost 6 o'clock, so you're gonna get crazy traffic. But the streets here, this is the Prakanong area, are usually more mellow if you kind of want to get away from the craziness of Nana and Asok, yet you're only 5 train stops away. Here's the Hopeland Hotel. There's 2 or 3 Hopelands that I know of. And here at Hopeland, they have the Bangkok Float Center, the zero gravity pods you float in. I know Joe Rogan is a big proponent of that. It's 950 baht for an hour, which is, what is that? Little less than, it's less than 30 bucks. Here's 71 on the other side, Sukhumvit 71. About 2 blocks up on the left is a really good new bar called the Mad Bulldog. It's kind of, this is W over here. So if you exit the back of W, you kind of pop out at Mad Bulldog. And they also have live music and pretty good menu. I've only been in there once, but if you're staying up here in the Prakanong area, that's gonna be a place to check out. And here's the Win Sukhumvit. I'm not sure if it's 48 or 50. It's really close to the W, and here's the BTS Prakanong. Beautiful building. But from what little I know, that will come at a price. They must be larger units, and you are right on Sukhumvit, so that is always a premium. I always see a little bit higher prices at the Win. We're going to the Life 48, which is just up another block and on the right. There's also the Aspire building. If you were to stay in this Life 48, the closest large market that I know of is actually at my BTS, which is, you could walk it. It's a long walk, maybe 5 blocks, or walk backwards to Prakanong and go 1 BTS stop to En Nut, and you'll have a Lotus, a Big C, a Villa Market, all right there. That's why En Nut's so popular. You just have all that shopping, groceries right at your fingertip. Other places like this Prakanong, it's a little bit more a chore, not that big a deal to go make that grocery run. Now there's 3 7-Elevens just on this block alone that you can get 80% of the things you need. So here it is, 48. You're gonna make this right turn. There's a little bit of street food and a laundry, if I remember, right here on the right. Oh, here's some more street food. Oh, this is new, a burger place, the Bite Burger. And this here is all $2 fried oyster with eggs, all kinds of good things, pad thai. Just like 10 stalls in there. And this was a 7-Eleven over here. It's gone now. That was a 7-Eleven. Maybe it's up here now. And this here is the Life 48. That's one of the first buildings I stayed at. Infinity pool on the roof, and then I think a little bit larger pool down below. I think there's 2 towers at the Life. And then that building is an Aspire property. I'm not sure what it's called. We'll walk down there. And that's Sukhumvit. This is coming on 48. A couple of new places to eat. Little coffee place. These are just little Thai businesses. Okay, so the 7-Eleven's over here now. Yeah. Another little coffee stand. And there's a Life 48. Just in the short time I've been standing here, I just see tons of expats coming and going, so you won't be alone. And you'll probably get some pretty good deals in there. I stayed in there way back in the day for about $600 a month, and then it dropped down during the health situation to like closer to $400. I'm not sure what it's at now. It's probably up and above 500. Now, like any condo in Bangkok, you're gonna get what you pay for. If you want the 37 square meter, well, that's gonna cost a few $100 a month more than the 29 square meter. 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 1 bedroom with an office. There's usually 3 or 4 floor plans. And then right next door, it's just called Aspire Sukhumvit 48. And I've never been in one of those units. Just looking at the outside, it definitely looks older. And that's reflected in the price as well. The Life 48, even though they're right next to each other, oftentimes will command a little bit more money. And here's another expat lady who's heading over to the Aspire. Like I say, this is a pretty popular area. These days, prices have kind of caught up, and you need to stay on that train another 3 or 4 stops going down past On Nut to Udom Suk and these kind of places to get that $200 savings. I'll go ahead and walk. It only goes a couple of blocks down 48. This is mostly just some local businesses. Over here are some, I'll just call them Thai style buildings, just cinder block. Nothing fancy, no pool, no nothing, like this blue building here. But if you're on a tight budget, yeah, you can probably get a heck of a savings on a 6-month or 12-month lease in one of those type buildings. Just basic accommodations. It's not going to be anything fancy, but if you want to live in the heart of Bangkok, and I don't know, I can't get into what things cost. They just change all the time, but if my unit in a 3-year-old building is not $500, I don't know what this blue building would cost. $250? $300? I'm not sure. You'd have to get out and boots on the pavement to check that out. It's not open right now. Maybe it's a morning thing, but here's a Cafe 48. Looks like a coffee bar. And even when I lived here, I never really walked down here. I just headed to the BTS. But I think there are some smaller like 8-story buildings back there. So that's the Life building, that's the Aspire building, and then just across the way it gets very Thai. And then that kind of round building off in the distance, that would be the W District, and not even a half a block past that is the Prakanong BTS. So you're not right on top of it. It is a good 3-block walk. And on the side of the Aspire is just some nice private residences behind gates. And like I say, that 6-story building in the back, I'm pretty sure that is apartments for rent. And this is towards the end of 48, just a very, very Thai area with businesses down below and 2 units above. Normally that's where the business owner's gonna live. And I'm not even gonna walk all the way back there. You gotta make a left and a right even to get to this smaller building. I wouldn't consider that. It's just kind of too far, tucked away back from the train and all. You just gotta figure out if it's worth $100 savings for what's gonna be a daily hassle. And I understand about being on a budget. I mean, we're all careful with our money, but rather than moving into a Thai style building, move into the smallest unit in a 10 or 20-year-old condo. Get yourself a studio, but you're still gonna have a pool. You're still gonna have a co-working space, all these things, none of which you're gonna have in one of these Thai style buildings. And realistically, it's not gonna cost more than $100 more a month, 150 maybe. The problem is when you come to look at these buildings, and I kind of fell into it myself. I don't regret it, but you'll look at the studio and yeah, okay, you know, for $100 more, let's look at the one bedroom. Then you look at that and it's like, okay, well, that's a night and day difference. And then for $160 more, you get the bigger one bedroom. And overall, I mean, it's still peanuts compared to rents in the United States or Australia. You'll end up pulling that trigger and paying $500 or $600 like the rest of us. But again, if you're absolutely on a tight budget, you can find yourself some $400 type studios in nice buildings. Now, I have buddies that are on expense accounts for housing, and I'm not exactly sure how it works. I think my one buddy, he gets up to $1,500, or it's in Australian dollars, but it's about $1,500, and it's use it or lose it. So guess what? He's renting in the fancier part of Ekamai. His unit is easily twice as big as mine, if not 3 times as big. I'm in a 31 square foot condo, and I think his is 65 square feet, and surprisingly, it's exactly 1,500 baht. He spent every dime of that, or $1,500. So, you know, good on him. But that 1,500 bucks, which is not a lot of money, would be coming out of my pocket. So that's a look here at Soi 48 Prakanong. Again, the Life, the Aspire. I think they're building a brand new building, kind of in front of the Life, but I didn't see. It's actually more towards En Nut. And we'll take a quick walk through the neighborhood. Everything is super safe over here. People, you know, will ask in the comments about, is that a safe area and all? There really isn't an unsafe area in Bangkok. I mean, there's crime like in any big city, but you almost have to be looking for trouble in Bangkok to get into trouble, if that makes sense. If you're stumbling down the street drunk at 3 in the morning, and yeah, you're probably going to find trouble. If you're a normal person like the rest of us, it will be rare. And I don't believe this shop was here when I lived here. Again, I just lived right there, and I'm not even sure what it's called, the Art Cafe or the Shabu. It's in between a 7-Eleven and a grocery store. I see all kinds of items, beer, liquor, cleaning products, you know, anything you'd need. Most of which you can also find in 7-Eleven, but it's nice to have a little bit bigger option. Here's a coin-operated laundromat, which that's the other issue with if you were to stay in a Thai-style building, you're not going to have a washer. And units like Life and Aspire, they'll have a washer, not a dryer. Even where I stay, it's just a washer and you hang your clothes out. But it's also nice to, once in a while, you know, take those jeans and pants down to the laundromat and wash them and dry them in the dryer. They get a little, I don't know, crispy, hanging out on the sunline. And just a lot of little local Thai places right at the base of Life. I see all kind of nail shops and different places to eat, plenty of massage places. That's kind of part of the fun of exploring your neighborhood, is getting out and finding these small places. Here is the Sleep D Hostel. I don't think that was there when I stayed in Life 5-6 years ago. And right across the way it says the Money Bar. It looks like they just changed names. This wasn't here. The Money Bar and Restaurant. So you got a little pub for, I just see a bunch of expats, and Thai people, expats, whatever. No big deal. It's just, I know a lot of people moving over to Bangkok, including myself, from the United States or England, might feel, well, am I going to be, you know, the only person that speaks English living in that area or whatnot? It's just not the case. There's people everywhere in Bangkok where you're going to communicate in English just fine, but you should at least learn some basic Thai phrases just to be polite, and I'm working on that. Little hotel tucked back here. I'm assuming it's a hotel called Tim Place. I'll leave it up to you. Yeah, you might be able to stay there for $30 a night, but oftentimes for $50 a night, you can stay at the Radisson Blue or the Hyatt Place, the smaller properties, and oftentimes that'll come with a free breakfast buffet. Of course, $27 a night is better than $50, but if it's 5 times a better hotel experience, you got to decide if it's worth it to you. All right, I was wondering where this was, Arcadia. It wasn't there when I was hanging out in this area. It's a retro arcade. They have Pac-Man and Galaxy or all those types of games, and they also show movies. I don't know if it's on the roof. I think it is. I think it's an open air. There'll be meetups to, come watch the first Top Gun or whatever at Arcadia, and I'm sure they have cocktails. It says craft beers. Now this place, I don't know if it says Mustang Nero. They kind of look like condos. What it looks like is they took 3 shop buildings and turned it into a property, and they might be huge. I mean, they have nice sized balconies. People kind of have their plants going. But a little spot like that, you're not going to find it online. You need to get out here and walk around, and that could be a cool building. Again, these are 3-story walk-ups, but you can see like this guy has 9 of them and made an apartment building out of it. Here's a Japanese restaurant. We're getting down now towards Soi 50, and way in the distance, I don't know if you just saw that bus roar by, that's Rama IV. So on the other side of Rama IV is the Prakanong BTS. So they're pretty close. That is, I think that's the Aspire building right there. So that's Soi 48. We're walking up towards 50. And this is the Sukhumvit Plus building, which I'm 99% sure is listed as Soi 50. But you'll always find, when you're searching Property Scout or Hip Flat, just doing a little armchair exploring on rents, this Sukhumvit Plus always comes in at an affordable rate. I think just because it's an older building. And in going by memory, they're pretty large units. I think way back in the day, I saw like 40 square meter units that were cheaper than 27 square meter studios in newer buildings. But everything changes. And it's all pretty quiet back here. Some dentist offices and massage. Again, up at the end of the street is Rama IV. And right on the corner over here is basically where we started, in that J-Bar Cafe. Here's a realty office right at the bottom of the Sukhumvit Plus. You can, and it's probably a good idea, to get a realtor to even get a condo, especially to help with the Thai English problem, working with the landlord. But here is the issue, and I'm not wanting or meaning to put down realtors, but I dealt with 2 realtors, and both of them basically just pushed the properties that they had listed. They didn't want to split commission with another realtor, so they showed me like 4 units in 2 buildings right next to each other, and I knew there were 20 units listed in each building, and they wouldn't show me those units. So keep that in mind, and they're only going to work so hard. If you expect some poor realtor to drive you all around Bangkok for 2 days to make a $200 commission, that's probably not going to happen. But give them a decent tip, let them know you're a super serious person, and yeah, they'll probably work pretty hard for you. What I ended up doing was, you can also just walk into the building of these condos and just ask the people working at the desk, hey, what's for rent in here? And they're basically working directly with the landlord. And 9 out of 10 times, the folks that work in the lobby of most of these buildings that expats are going to look at, they speak good English. And in my case, my Thai landlady, she doesn't speak English at all. But yeah, it was not a problem to sit there with the person from the lobby. And I even did a small bit of negotiation. She wanted 17,000 baht a month. I said, how about 16,000 baht? And I'll sign a 12-month lease right now, give you 2 months security deposit. And she says, that's totally reasonable. And we just did all the paperwork the next hour. I think they just printed it out there in the lobby. So you don't need to go through a realtor. It's not impossible. I did it, and I certainly don't speak Thai, but your life will be much easier with a realtor. It just might limit your options. If, for instance, you're super interested in this Life 48 building, well, your realtor might not have a listing in there. So their first instinct might be to say, well, let's go look next door at the Aspire. I've got a unit listed in there. So just keep that in mind. And there's the J Bar. And there's the W District. So there's the railroad tracks for the BTS. There it goes. And the Prakanong is right on the other side of Rama IV, which is this busy street here. You can also walk up Rama IV and you'll find all kinds of different things. I'm not a Rama IV expert. The only thing I really go there for is, probably 6 blocks up that way is a little music place. But for the most part, it just seems kind of industrial to me. A lot of muffler shops and auto parts stores, that kind of thing. But there's surely a bunch of places to find on Rama IV. And next to J Bar is a cool little Japanese looking restaurant. Hey, so thanks for taking a look at this Soi 50 and Soi 48 area. Here's a coffee place in the Prakanong section of Bangkok. If you're enjoying taking a look around Bangkok on my videos, consider subscribing. I'd appreciate it. Take it easy.